Hello to the hockey family. It is Monday, November the 17th. As many of you know, our whole team has been traveling a lot. Johan, I think, probably just landed up in Chicago or is about to be. Um, Nick was gone this past weekend, Grand Rapids, Chicago. I know he had a nice trip. Um, Last week I filmed this, in a hotel in New York. Got back on Wednesday. That was an 8-day trip, and then this Saturday, just kind of got really lucky. A friend invited me. Um, invited a couple of us. Johan wasn't able to go, so I jumped on it. But a friend of a friend has his own plane, so we got to do just a trip on Saturday, where we, showed up at the airport at 4, jumped in his plane. He flew, landed in Raleigh, and got to watch the Oilers versus Hurricanes on Saturday. And I was home in bed by midnight. That was really really cool. More travel coming up. Obviously, we got Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks as well. Looking back last week, it's down a touch. Realistically, mostly what we're seeing there is just some concern over these AI valuations. Um, so obviously, more affected is the Nasdaq. The tech heavy Nasdaq. Okay, next piece, a little educational topic. I'll try to keep it as quick as possible, but it is very interesting. If you haven't seen and don't know, so Kyle Busch, who has been a longtime NASCAR superstar. I'm not a NASCAR guy by any means. I had to kind of look some of this up, but he was the NASCAR Cup champion in 2015 and 2019, has won loads of races over the years. So Kyle Busch invested in, or might be a better way of saying it, is got sold a universal life insurance policies. So these policies, like, super complex. Yeah, tough to understand for a lot of people. So he's now in a lawsuit. So filed a claim against Pacific Life, claiming that he has losses exceeding $8 million. The lawsuit itself says that he was misled, that the policy was safe, a tax-free retirement plan. Also claims that the policies were structured to fail right from the beginning. This is, these policies, they have a lot of, and this is what he's alleging, but it is true often, they have large hidden fees. This policy itself included a 35% upfront commission to the agent, that was apparently undisclosed to Kyle. He thought he was on a 5-year payment plan, but then all of a sudden in year 6, he receives another premium notice and starts to look at the policy and realize that most of the investment had disappeared. Obviously, again, we have to point out these are all allegations. So, you know, until the case is finished with, we won't know, all of the truth here. But we've seen these policies a lot. Clients that have moved to us, they come over from other, advisory firms and have these policies where we have to try to unwind them. As a player, I got approached with these types of policies, the universal life, whole lives, etc. I would say, what I find that just should be criminal about it is the language that these agents are able to use when selling the policies. The first time I was approached with one, I walked away from the conversation going like, this sounds amazing. Quick phone call to my advisor at the time, long conversation, and luckily he was well versed and knew exactly kind of the downside of these things. So Some takeaways, just a couple, and the first one just is obvious, and should have been the first red flag for me, right? If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is, right? And that's the way that that first pitch to me, I should have kind of been like, this sounds a little too good to be true. But and number two, an important one here, insurance is really, really important, right? If you're a young family, etc., you need insurance to protect your family, the mortgage, your future earnings. But there are a lot of very, very simple policies that you can buy very cheaply to achieve this. That makes a lot of sense. I would say a good rule of thumb is to keep insurance and investments separate. Use insurance to protect yourself, your family, but when you're being approached with something that's mixing the two, right? Let's get this insurance policy. It's going to give you these, fantastic returns and protection. Typically, bad starting place. Super interesting. I can't wait to kind of follow this through and see how the lawsuit falls out in the end. But for the time being, questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out.